The HSC Mathematics exams recently finished, and as happens every year, we've had news publications come out and talk about difficult exam questions. Here's a publication from news.com.au talking about a tricky question that was present in the Advanced and Standard papers. A common question, the first time that this has happened with the new syllabus. This is the question to do with a cricket and how much it chirps, and it's a question based on stats. It's not too difficult, but it covers a broad range of things, so let's work through an example and hopefully you don't get stuck on a similar question in the future. So to begin with, let's read it. A cricket's an insect and it chirps. A scientist wants to explore the relationship between the temperature in degrees Celsius and the number of cricket chirps in an interval. So once a day for 20 days he goes and collects some data. And from that data he produces the following box plot. We're then told that the mean temperature is 0.525 below the median. There's a total of 684 chirps from 20 data points. And from here, our scientist fits a least squared regression line using the data xy, where x is temperature and y is the number of chirps. Importantly, the equation of this line is given here, where b is the slope of the regression line. We're then told the least squared regression line passes through the point of x bar, y bar. Really important, and we'll come back to that in just 1 second. But first let's get to what the question is actually asking. Calculate the number of chirps expected in a 15-second interval when the temperature is 19 degrees Celsius. Now we know that x is temperature, so when x is equal to 19, y is equal to what? That's essentially what this question is getting at. And you may first be inclined to just try and substitute that into this equation here. But that won't work because we have 3 unknown variables. And that's where this really important information about the least squares comes in. So it says the least squares regression line passes through the point x bar, y bar, where x bar is the sample mean of the temperature data and y bar is the sample mean of the chirp data. So essentially, if we have the point x bar, y bar, and we substitute that in, since we're told that it lies on that line, then we can solve for b. And once we've solved for b, that leaves only 2 unknowns in the question, which we can work with down here when we're told that x is equal to 19. That leaves us with only 1 unknown, y, which we have to find. So let's go about finding this point, x bar, y bar. Turning to the first dot point, we're told the mean temperature is 0.525 degrees below the median. So putting that into an equation, and we get x bar is equal to our median minus 0.525. And now where do we get the median from? That's why we've been given the box plot. Here's our lowest data point, our highest data point, our 25th percentile, 75th, and then 50th. At our 50th percentile, that's also called our median. Now, reading from the graph here, we get told that's 22. So our x bar is equal to 22 minus 0.525. Our x bar is equal to 21.475. So now we just need to find our y bar. That's where we turn to this second dot point. Now we're told we have 684 chirps from 20 data points. That's really simple to calculate our y bar from. Y bar is equal to 684 on 20. And in a calculator, you'll get 34.2 for that. So given we have our y bar and our x bar, we can now substitute in to solve for b. So let's do that over here in green. Our y was 34.2 equals negative 10.6063 plus our b multiplied by x, which is 21.475. Now rearranging, and we get 34.2 plus 10.6063 all on 21.475 equals b. Putting that into a calculator, and you get b is equal to 2.086. So now if we substitute b back into this original equation here, that leaves 2 unknowns, and we can substitute in y, and we can substitute in x to get y. So let's do that down here in red. Our y is equal to negative 10.6063 plus our b, which we just found to be 2.086 over here. So plus 2.086 multiplied by our x, which is 19 in this instance. And if you put that into a calculator, you'll get 29.0277. And as with all HSC math questions, When you get an answer, you should then go back, reread the question, and see if it stipulates how it wants you to give that answer. So here it says give it to the nearest whole number. So that's what we'll do. We say y is equal to 29. And of course you want to give units. You don't want to lose a mark when you've done all the working just because you haven't given units. So here it's going to be chirps per 15 seconds. It's also a good habit to then box your answer, because that way the marker can easily see it and doesn't get lost in your working. So there it is, not too difficult of a problem. It just covers a few different aspects. You need to be able to interrelate your mean and your median, figure out how to find your median on a box plot, how to find some simple arithmetic averages, and then how to work with a linear equation with 3 unknowns. First, solving for one unknown, substituting that back in, and then using that and the data it provides to find the ultimate answer.